Thank you guys for just praying and supporting me while I was over there in Egypt. First mission trip, actually by myself for a whole 3 months, compared to the first trip I was over there with a whole group of people. So of course it's a little frightening and scary, but just with Psalm 62, God is my refuge and strength, and just gotta lean on Him and trust in Him for everything. But just want to give you like a short little trip. I was there working for the church in Castel de Bar Church, and they do sports camps called the Wellspring Camp, where you lead sports to the Muslim kids, doing like baseball, basketball, every sport you can probably imagine in the whole world we can do. And we also do like high ropes, zip line, rock walls, and just every game that you can probably think of. And when you send your kids to like a summer camp here, it's just like doing the same exact activities, but you're reaching Muslim kids instead of Christian kids, where you can plant like seeds. So like I was doing a whole bunch of roles. I was a counselor to Muslim kids, where probably like 10% of them understood English. So that was a little frightening. I'm like, all right, guys, like, can you understand me? Do I need to speak slow? Like, do I need to abbreviate things? Like, any street lingo that you could teach me, like, to help? But with me was, like, a Christian counselor in our cabins. So, of course, the kids and the counselor would talk to each other, and I can understand, like, some words and understand my name. I'm like, are they talking about me? Or, like, what's going on? I'm like, no, they love you, You just told them about the discipline part, and they're a little scared. Because in the camps, you want to love on them, but you also want to teach them a little discipline too. So of course, I sort of got that role of disciplining kids when they got bad. But it's through the love of Christ that you discipline them. But I was also like coaching, like I said, just doing everything like from week to week to week. I probably did about 20 to 30 different camps, from in Cairo to the Beit al-Wadi camp, which was about 2 hours outside of the city. So it's just like sending your kids away to Twin Lakes camp, just away from the city and away from everything, so there's no distractions, and it's a peaceful place because you're just in the middle of the desert. And I was just like thinking of the song, Christ the solid rock I stand, all other ground is sinking sand, where everywhere you look there's a whole lot of sand. I'm like, oh, okay, there's a small percentage of, Christians in Egypt. So like, hopefully there'll be a few rocks I can stand on. And of course, Jesus is my rock. But it was just a busy summer. But, it was just a amazing part just to grow with the Christian counselors that were at the camps, even being away, from camp in the city. You just invite people over, and just like Carl, what was his name? Medeiros. Yeah, I just forgot his name. The whole Muslim culture, it's a hospitable place in Egypt. All the stuff that you probably hear on the news, it's a whole lot different. I mean, they're sort of welcoming and just hospitable that you feel safe there. And Egypt is probably one of the safest Middle Eastern countries over there. So I mean, the whole experience was just awesome, and just seeing God just working His ways. And I mean, people ask me like, "Oh, did you see any people come to Christ while you were there?" I'm like, to be honest, like, I'm just there to plant, the seeds and let God just work in His ways to lead, the Muslims and the people there to Christ. But that's what Wellspring does, and what I did with also other Americans. We're just there to plant the seeds, and hopefully, the seeds, landing on the good, perfect ground instead of the rocky soil and everything. But I had one family, probably one of my last camps before Whitney sent his team, and the kid was on, the head of my group was on the same plane back to America. Well, my first stop was in Paris, and coming through the gate, he's like, "Oh, Coach Mike, thank you for being with us and teaching us." And sorry. Um, He's like, just thank you for being there for us. And so I get out of the plane and to the gate, and his whole family just comes out. So it's happy tears, I mean, sad tears too, but, the whole family was just so encouraging. They're like, we just love that Americans can come to our country and just, teach our kids the right way to be a loving person of Christ and, and God. And I was reading the book that we were reading in Sunday school about being a disciple. And like, man, I could somewhat be in trouble for, talking about God in a public place, but in the airport, it's like, I was just here because God sent me, and I hope that, you just took whatever we learned and taught your kid and the other kids about God, and hopefully, you'll come around to God, and like be a follower, but, I didn't want to press it on them too much, but it was just so loving, just being over there, and, if you have any thoughts, or I'll be in the back after church, and hopefully we'll send a team back this year, and I encourage y'all, to come join us. I mean, it's a great 2-week trip, and your faith will grow stronger like mine, and it's just a, awesome time to be there. So just thank you for all your prayers and support. I mean, I was in Egypt, and my brother was in Turkey, so this was like hard on our parents and stuff, so. But just thank you so much, and just keep sending more missionaries, and be a missionary in y'all's workplace or wherever God leads you to be. So just thank you so much, and God bless y'all.